Okay, so take me through your transition from Florida,
Mhm.
Arizona. So you've been in Arizona for how long now? The Phoenix area.
It's almost 3 years. So I got here in 2017, the end. So it's 3 years now. Yeah, it is.
How has the Phoenix area been treating you so far?
So for me, I believe the word Phoenix just really synchronizes with my story because I was literally like in the more or less the lowest point that I've been in my life at the time when I moved here. I would say emotionally, spiritually, it was just whoa, financially. Um, I was still going through the divorce process. And then my dad passed right after my grandfather passed. Pretty much when I got here, my grandfather we just buried him a couple months and my uncle passed. So emotional is a lot. It was just like these three major men in my family died right one after the other, and I was this marriage that I've had for so many years. I think at the time, I think we were at there 14 years. That was dead too, but alive still right in front of me. So emotionally, I came with the ashes, right? And so I always say rise like the phoenix from the ashes of your past. That's one of my little quotes I made for myself, because once I came to Phoenix, it was like I sat in the space of what is this teaching me? How can I grow? I feel all this, but I have to do all this. I have to work because I need to have an income. So it was all the things that I must do to survive, but all the things I must do in order to pull myself out from where I was, emotionally, financially, blah, blah, blah. So I felt like Phoenix has been really good to me. And I tell people I still have not seen the beauty of Arizona. I have not gone to many cities because I was more or less locked into growing myself. And so, right at the beginning of last year, so I was ready. It's like I'm going out. I'm gonna go mountain climbing, all that. I'm joining a group. I did join a few groups, and we're gonna go. And I can still do that, but everything kind of shifted. Plans shifted a lot with COVID, but I didn't change. I just pushed further, and I finished my certification last year as a speaker and coach with John Maxwell team, and that was one of
Congrats.
the thank you. That was one of my, I'd say I graduated and got a few degrees, but nothing could beat the fact of being able to connect with your purpose and have something like a seal on it that you can really go for it and do it. And one of my friends, well, you didn't really need the certification, but it's what it stood for that I like. I could have been a coach prior. I was a coach prior to the certification, but that process was something, and connecting with such an amazing team really changes everything. The synergy and the great people I get to meet, like you, because I met Gigi, who was a JMTer. So that I can't pay for that experience. So Phoenix has been good. I still left to see so much, but it's been great.
Well, congratulations on that. And so I want to ask you when you were hit with that layoff, especially with the what's been going on, 2020 in terms of the economic fallout with, dare I say it, the pandemic. That word is, you know, so overused these days. But it,
Mhm.
if you did you learn do you have any key financial lessons to take from the experience of being laid off and not being as financially robust as you may have wanted to be? Did you take away anything from that at all in terms of uh, how you go about your finances going forward?
So with what that is a great question, because definitely he changed from the layoff and even in the pandemic. And I have a story that I don't think I've spoken about publicly a lot. And I was invited to be a part of a book writing, prospering in the pandemic, because for me I did. And it's not because of my coaching practice or anything, and I'll talk about that. But one thing I did learn for sure is what I shared earlier is you have to have a plan because things can happen at any time. Now, it's not to say you should operate from a place of lack and fear. It's not a fear-based plan. It's a plan knowing that life has ebbs and flows, mountains and valleys. And if you're in a situation where you have constant income, it doesn't matter how much it is, you need to save and you need to have a plan. And so I have I met someone who is a financial planner a few months ago, and it's folks like you that I believe everyone should spend their time. Because yes, I came up with the idea that I'm going to live below my means because of it. I'm going to save even if it's just $50 out of my paycheck every week. It's going to be saved and I'm not touching it. And that you would see that over time. What I do was increase it because when I was not barely making ends, I still saved that $50. And so it was there for me in the case of an emergency. And because I was saving, when I had those few weeks when I was without work, I didn't even get unemployment in Florida. By the time I got it, I was working, so it didn't matter. I got one 245, and that was all I ever got from them. But because I was first of all, whatever little savings I had, I was able to meet my needs, pay my rent or whatever. But I was able. It's because I saved some. I mean, I could do a whole lot better saving, but I didn't know. I didn't think. I thought it was okay. I was making enough money. So you can't sit there and think that. You have to plan. And to be more specific, I believe we should all have someone like you in life to help us. I don't understand cryptocurrency. I don't understand Bitcoins. What is my excuse except I have not taken you about your diet, your nutrition, your romantic relationships, your friendships, all those things we have as priorities. Why aren't we prioritizing the efforts into our finances? And we don't know what we don't know. So people like you who take the time out. So that's I learned that value to actually get in a some level of commitment relationship with someone who understands money. And for me, I say, well, I'm not ready for this. I don't even have enough income for financial planning. Well, prepare for when you do. And that's what I told myself. So when I met you, I was like, this is when I saw that you're fine. I didn't get to go over. I was like, it's another person coming in my hemisphere. So I need to section out time for myself. So that's something I learned in this whole journey, because even as an entrepreneur now, and I'm going to manage more money and stuff like that, I need to know what you cannot make a good plan without knowing and having direction. It's just like I'm a coach and people are coming to me for life coaching. There's a reason why they come to me. I need a finance coach because money is not something I was born naturally aware of. I transitioned from another country where finance and money is a different story. When I came here, I was hit with the credit. What is credit? I did credit restoration for my ex-husband in my first few months and had no idea what I was doing. He had money saved up, and I was like, there's no way you should have all these people calling. And I knew one thing I knew how to do was negotiate. So it's like, okay, you got a $2,000 bill for him. I've got five. Take it, give me zero. And I did credit restoration, which is big business now, within my first 5 months of living in the US and had no idea what I was doing. But I just know, and his credit score came up to the first year. By the end of my first year living in the States, we bought our first home. And my credit was new, which still I didn't understand. So um, I felt like if he was educated when he moved to the US about credit and understand how that worked, he might not have gotten himself in some of the situations he did. And by same for me as well. So education is power.